Hi, my name is Nate Nesler, and this will be for Hyperactive Studios. We're going to be going over a whole series on HTML, and then later on another one on CSS, so on and so forth here, as we start covering some more and more of this web development and web languages. Alright, so with that, let's start getting into this. I'm just going to pop in here, and this, you can use whatever you want. I'm going to use Linux in this case, but you can also use Windows. It doesn't really matter. It's up to you what you want to do. You're welcome to use Windows also. But so first off, let's just go over some basic tags here, and it's going to let me just eliminate a few of these real quick here, and then we can talk about each part here. All right, so one of the things we have here, and all I did was opened up gedit. So if you're using Linux here or whatnot, you can just come in here and you can type in gedit, and then you can launch your editor. If you're on Windows, you could use WordPad or Notepad++. If you search for it in Google, you can find Notepad++. It's nice, and it'll do a great job for you. Definitely, if you're on Windows, I'd recommend Notepad++. That would give you much better formatting than WordPad ever dreamed of. But I can come in here. I like to tab over my tags like this, just because it makes it neater to follow. And one of the things I probably want to add here is a head tag also. And let's just get into what these mean. Okay, so a web page is really broken up into several parts. First off, we have a document tag. I tell it what kind of document it is, and it is the doc type here is HTML. So we're letting the basically Apache web server know, or whatever web server, typically Apache, but not always, know that we're going to be doing an HTML page, and what we're going to be doing with that. Also, the extensions help with that too. And here this starts our HTML document here. So we have what's called tags, and this opening tag here, and then this would be a closing tag down here. So it's open and closes HTML. And basically our entire HTML document is contained within these HTML tags, like so. And then we have the head part of the document. And this is like, things like the title, for instance, would go in here. They're not going to show up in the page, but it might be like meta tags, something like that for searching or something of that nature. But let's just go ahead and do a title for now. And see, I don't know, test HTML page. Alright. And do title. That and close. You may even want to do, it's up to you, you could even do this type thing here again. Different people like to do different conventions. When it's one of these one-liners, I typically just put it all in one line, like that. But if it's going to be like spanning multiple lines, I typically do the indentation here. It's up to you how you want to do it, but I do recommend formatting it so that it's actually easy to read, because if you don't, then it makes it harder to read the code by far, and you don't want to make it difficult to read your own code. Let me just go ahead and save this real quick. I'm going to say File, Save. I'm going to save this as a HTML. Now I actually set this up as a web page, so this really actually does have its own web page location on here, which is kind of cool. So we also have madeupsite.dom here, and it has its own page, and then HTML had its page. I'm just going to go ahead and save over this one with this page we're going to be creating here. Yep, replace it, and it's going to be an html.index page. Notice the moment I did that, everything highlighted up. That's because gedit here will detect what type of document we're coding and writing, and it'll highlight it accordingly. So that's very, very cool. In order to get these line numbers on the side here, I'm just going to go into Edit and then Preferences, and I can turn on line numbers, highlight current line, highlight matching brackets, and then I can also come in here and select things like Enable, automatic indentation, etc. So very, very cool. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and do some body document tags here. Now we can put a lot of different things in here. One of the things we can put in here would be H1, H2, H3 tags. These are heading tags, and they basically have different sizes to them. So I can simply, and again, these are going to be one-liners, so I'm just going to go ahead and put these like this. So I got my opening and closing tag. Remember, this is your opening tag here, and this is your closing tag. We have to put anything we want to basically display on the page has to go inside your body tags. So we have our starting body tag and then our ending body tag. And then of course I'm indenting them because the tags are going to be spanning multiples here. Now, HTML basically ignores white space, so all this white space, you don't see it in the document. Now, technically, we don't have to tab it or whatever, but again, I like to do it for organizational purposes. So I can put these spaces on each side of this sentence, and HTML is going to ignore it. So this is a H1 header, and then I'm too lazy to type this again, so I'm just going to come down here. I'm just going to hold on Shift and down arrow select it. Hit Control C to paste, paste, paste 2 more times for my headers. I'm just going to change this to 3 and a 2, 2, 3, and then you can kind of see the difference between these here when we run this page. I'm sorry, you do that one there like that. Okay, so I'm just going to save again. So if it's come up here and click on the save button, it saves it. And then I think I saved this into, yeah, just the regular HTML one. Okay, cool. So that means if I bring up my web browser, I'm just going to go to another desktop. Now on Windows you can't go to multiple desktops, but on Linux you can. So I'm just going to go to another desktop. Just pull up your web browser like Firefox, Chrome, one of those, and use it. If you're on a Mac, you can use Safari. All right. And then I already set this up, so you could, if you're doing this, you would actually go into File, Open File, and search for that HTML file and open it up. So for instance, I could come in here and go into my home directory. Of course, yours will be different if you're on Windows or Linux or Windows or Mac. This whole setup of how I did this are already in videos. Go check them out. It's under Ubuntu. I'm using Ubuntu Linux for this, but you can do whatever you like. Alright, so me, personally, I created actual websites. So I'm actually running a web server on this, but I can open it up here. So if you're not running a web server, you can still open the stuff up and see it. We say, see that this is a H1 header, this is a H2 header, and this is a H3 header. But I believe I can just type in Nate server. If I'm not mistaken, and gain access to this. So anyways, there's the page running. So pulling this back up over here. Okay, so let's do a little bit more. This is cool, but wouldn't it be nice if we could, I don't know, have things go on different paragraphs, so that way we could say that, oh, I want this to be on this line and this one on other lines. Because if I start typing, this is the song that never ends. It goes on and on. And then and so they got that whole thing. So of course that's really long. It's just going to end up all on one line. And it kind of sucks because come back to my web browser here. And it's apparently hunting for Nate server. What did I set it up as? Is it just Nate? I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember my own server. It is Nate, sorry. I couldn't remember. Nate it is. So here we are, and I'm hosting my web page. So you notice here that when I ran this page, I got all this text here. But what if I wanted this to really be on multiple lines? So I'm going to come in here. It's funny, I set my own web server and then forgot what it's called. So I do my starting tags like this, and then I can end them where I want to. So for instance, I want this on each line, no problem. let's put my starting and ending p tags. P tags means paragraph, and I'm just going to start formatting like this. I mean, I could put just as a just to kind of get this point across. Irregardless of how I format it in this document, doesn't mean that's how it's going to display on the page. So, for instance, I can come in here like this and do this like that, and you're like going, okay, cool. It's going to just show up on multiple lines. It won't actually. If I come back over here, we'll get the same result, and nothing changed. Just to prove a point, there we go. Refreshed. Bam, nothing. Reloaded it. Okay, so we need this text to go on multiple lines. It's because HTML ignores white space. So we're going to do opening closing p tag like this around what we're saying. All right. And let's do our opening p tags. Alright, so now we have opening and closing p tags on each one of these. Awesome, awesome. Now when I come back to my web browser and I reload it, we see a different result here. Notice they automatically went to their own lines. And that's because of that p tag. There's also something called a break statement, which helps you go to another line. Let's look at that. Break statements are great. That if you want, say, go to the next line. Like maybe this one got going on too long and I just wanted it to suddenly break to the next line. I could do that actually. Oh wait, sorry. Gotta put my cursor back in here. Had it out of there by mistake. I can also do an open close tag like this. If you have one of these tags, you can do this with p tags too, but you have open and close tags like this, where it encompasses both the opening and the closing aspect of the tag. Just FYI, that's how that works. Alright, and reload. And see how it makes it break and go to the next line like this. So just as if you hit the enter key. Here we're actually getting spaces in it. That's because of the p tag for the paragraph tag. But if I use the BR tag, it's a break tag, and it will actually act as if you hit the enter key. It makes it go down to the next line. Alright. So this is cool. What if we wanted, though, to have it where we've seen links all the time in web pages, and what if we wanted to have a link where it would go to a whole other page, a whole other web page? And that would be awesome. So let's look at how to do that. There's a couple ways to do this. We can do full remote tags, or we can actually link to a page in our own document here. So let's just do a remote tag for now. I'm just going to go ahead and just do like Blender. So I'm just going to do a link to Blender's website in here. So the way you do a link is you have A here first, and then you're going to say href. Alright? And href is going to be your hyperlink reference. And we're going to say something like http://www.blender.org, something of that nature. And then I'm just going to go ahead and close off this tag here, like so. Let me make sure I click in there. So sorry. Let's see here. We're just going to do that right there, and then we'll give it a name for the link. Let's just say Blender, for instance. And then I'm going to close this tag with an A. So we started A to create our link, and we need to close it with the A tag to end it. This text right here is what's going to appear as the link, and it gets colorized. This is the location of where it's going to go when the link is clicked. Alright, so now one of the problems here we're going to have is, since we didn't put this around P tags or BR or whatever, it's going to kind of end up on the same line, so it's not going to have the prettiest formatting. So if I just, refresh it, bam, there we go. Oh, never mind. It did get its own line after all. Okay, awesome. So if I click this now, it should take me to Blender's website. Assuming I have a network. Yeah, I have a network connection. Okay, well, it should take me there. And apparently, I don't have an internet connection right now on this thing. Okay. Interesting. Well, kind of surprised, unless their website's down. Let me check another location. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, I could do madeupsite.dom too, just to kind of prove a point. Let's try ZBrush, because I like ZBrush. No? Okay, so for whatever reason, my internet connection seems to be down on this thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use madeupsite.dom instead. Alright, so let me just change this real quick. Wow. And this is another page I'm running off of my server. So let's call it madeupsite. And I can say this right here, and I can say now I did .dom because DOM doesn't exist on the internet. I did this on purpose because it's not a registered site or anything in the case. And there we go. We go straight to our made up site. My server is hosting this. It won't work for you because you're not going to have that running on your server unless you did the Apache LAMP series for Linux with Ubuntu that I have. So if you did that, then yeah, this will work for you right here. But otherwise, it won't. Anyways, there's an example of that link working. You could put in your own site. So just put in your favorite site here and put whatever name you want for it. And then your page will go to it. So it's great.